School spirit is in full effect on the Tech campus. We have the rundown on homecoming week coming up.
Texas Tech has broken another record this fall. Find out how the university is making history next.
And the Red Raiders are recovering from a rough loss on the road this past weekend. Kyle Stafford will be in with a post-game wrap-up in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Lexi Wesley.
And I'm Tiara Bryant. Football season is in full swing here on the Tech campus. Each week not only marks a different opponent on the schedule, but it also signifies another reason for Tech fans to come together and celebrate school spirit.
That's true, Tiara, and Red Raider pride is on its best display during the events of Homecoming Week. Earlier this afternoon, the Tech Activities Board held the annual Homecoming Kickoff to mark the beginning of this week's festivities. The event took place in the Sub North Plaza and featured members of the Going Band from Raiderland, the cheerleading squad, and Raider Red. Also during this event, this year's candidates for Homecoming King and Queen were announced. Homecoming Kickoff is one of more than 15 events taking place around campus between now and Saturday.
A lot of spirit, there's a lot of free stuff. We have a lot of things revolving around the theme of heroes versus villains. That's our theme, so it's kind of a superhero comic book theme. And so we have a lot of make and take items like superhero photos, make your own superhero cookie, and then we have a comedian later. So just a lot of free, fun events that are centered around the homecoming theme.
For a full list of homecoming activities, visit the website listed on your screen. We'll also have details on a few of this week's festivities in today's MCTV events calendar.
Although homecoming finishes up with the annual football game on Saturday, the Red Raiders aren't the only ones facing tough competition this week. Throughout the week, the Greek community, along with several student organizations, will be vying for top prizes in 2 creative contests. One of those competitions is on full display at the main entrance to the campus. The annual Spirit Board competition showcases various displays combining art with school pride. Student groups create their spirit boards using each year's homecoming theme. This year's theme is Red Raiders Assembles, Heroes versus Villains. The winners of the Spirit Board competition will be announced during the pep rally at the end of the week. Along with the Spirit Board competition, the annual Spirit Banner competition also gives students creative outlet to show school's pride. Spirit banners are on display in the sub throughout the week. At the end of the week, 2 of the banners will be chosen as winners and will be displayed at Jones AT&T Stadium during the football game on Saturday.
If the Tech campus has felt a little more crowded this semester, it's not just your imagination. Last week, the campus released the official attendance numbers for fall 2016. Texas Tech reported a total enrollment of 36,551 students, setting a new record. The previous record was set in the fall of 2015 with 35,859 students enrolled in classes. Including this year's numbers, the university has consistently broke the fall enrollment record 8 years in a row. The university has enrolled almost 10,000 additional students in the last 10 years, slowly approaching the university's long-term goal of 40,000 students by 2020. With the fall attendance record, Texas Tech currently ranks as the 7th largest university in the state.
The presidential election is currently in the home stretch with less than 4 weeks to go before the pivotal day is here. And if you want your voice to be heard, time is quickly running out. Today and tomorrow are your last days to register to vote before the November 18th elections. According to state law, an eligible voter must be registered 30 days before an election to cast a ballot. The law also states that if the 30th day falls on the weekend, the deadline moves to the following Monday. In the case of this year, today happens to be a federal holiday, so the deadline has been extended through Tuesday, October 11th. If you still need to register to vote, visit votetexas.gov and click on the Register to Vote tab near the top of the screen. From there, you can fill out a voter registration application and print it out. You have 2 choices to submit the application. You can either mail it in or stop by the Lubbock Elections Office and submit the application in person. If you choose to mail your application, it must be postmarked with Tuesday, October 11th. However, if you're worried about getting it in the mail, you can stop by the Elections Office at 1308 Crickets Avenue between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. both today and tomorrow. Election Office personnel will also be available to answer any questions about voter registration on November elections. For more information on the Lubbock Elections Office, visit votelubbock.org. Over the weekend, the Lubbock area saw one of the coolest weekends since the beginning of fall. High temperatures may have reached the 70s on Saturday and Sunday, but temperatures got down as low as 40 degrees overnight.
That's true, Tiara, but those cooler temperatures have moved on, and it looks like we're in for some nice conditions the next couple days. Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV tower cam is showing mostly clear skies today after heavy clouds cleared out this morning. The ground started off a little wet following an early morning shower, but signs of moisture disappeared shortly after the sun came out. Today's high should top out around 80 degrees. Tomorrow, the sun will be sticking around, and temperatures will continue to rise. Tomorrow's high is forecast just below 90 degrees, and overnight lows will stay mild in the low 60s. Wednesday will see a continuation of the warm, sunny weather, but winds will increase later in the day. A cold front will move through the area, dropping overnight lows into the mid-40s. On Thursday, that cold front will also set the stage for a chance of rain throughout the day. High temperatures will stay below 70 degrees, and a chance for thunderstorms will develop into the evening. Thursday night, the storm should move out, leading to dry end of the week. Looking ahead, warm temperatures and clear skies should return for the weekend. Over the weekend, the Texas Tech Red Raiders headed north to continue their conference schedule.
Unfortunately, things didn't go so well for Tech teams struggling to find a defense. MCTV's Kyle Stafford joins us now with a look back at a busy weekend in sports. Kyle.
Thanks, Lexi and Tiara. This past Saturday, the Red Raiders dropped a close one on the road in Manhattan to Kansas State, 44-38. Patrick Mahomes surprisingly made the start for Tech after being considered a game-time decision with an AC joint sprain in his throwing shoulder. Early on, Mahomes looked sharp and overall put together another brilliant outing, finished with 504 yards passing and 5 total touchdowns. But late in the game, Mahomes began to show signs of fatigue in his throwing shoulder as he began underthrowing passes he normally makes, and just didn't have the same zip on the ball. He finished the game attempting 62 passes. Kiki Qt led the team with 130 yards receiving on 5 catches and 1 touchdown. Defensively, the Red Raiders held strong in the third quarter, not allowing a score, but the offense failed to capitalize on the opportunities that were presented. Andre Pipkins, Gary Moore, and Colin Hill each had 2 tackles for loss to lead the defense. Tech will return to action this Saturday as they play host to unbeaten number 22 West Virginia. Kickoff is set for 11 a.m., and if you can't make it out to the game, you can catch it on Fox Sports 1. Well, in other college football action, Texas A&M remained unbeaten after a 45-38 double overtime victory over Tennessee. A&M is 6-0 for the first time since 1994 and will have a bye this week before they travel to Tuscaloosa to take on top-ranked Alabama. Washington put an end to their 12-game losing streak to Oregon with a 70-21 thumping. Navy knocked off number 6 Houston 46-40 for their first win over a top 10 team since 1984. And in the nightcap, Washington State rolled past Stanford 42-16, turning their first win over a top 15 team since 2003. In the MLB, the Texas Rangers season came to a close last night following a 7-6 10th inning loss to Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are the first team to punch their ticket to the ALCS and await the winner of the series between the Boston Red Sox and Cleveland Indians. Game 3 of that series will take place tonight at 5 p.m. The Indians lead the series 2-0 and are a win away from closing out the series. In the National League, the Chicago Cubs currently hold a 2-0 advantage over the San Francisco Giants, with Game 3 taking place tonight at 8:30 p.m. The Los Angeles Dodgers and Washington Nationals are tied at a game apiece, with the series shifting to L.A. Tech Volleyball will host Oklahoma this Wednesday at the United Supermarkets Arena as they look for their first Big 12 win of the season. The start time is set for 6 p.m. And Red Raider Soccer will travel to Morgantown to take on West Virginia as they try to get back on the winning track. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m., and you can catch the game on ESPNU. Well, that's all for sports. Back to you, Lexi.
Thanks, Kyle. As we mentioned earlier, it's homecoming week. Let's take a look at some ways you can get involved and stir up some school spirit in today's MCTV events calendar. Tomorrow night, plan on stopping by the United Supermarkets Arena to witness one of the most entertaining nights of homecoming week. The annual student organization, SoSing, kicks off at 8 p.m. and will feature performances by members of various student organizations and the Greek community. Each group's routine features dancing and singing while celebrating this year's homecoming theme. At the end of the night, one group will stand tall as the winner of this year's competition. SoSing is free and open to the public.
On Wednesday, food is the theme as homecoming week reaches its midpoint. First, make a trip just north of the Architecture Building and enjoy a free Mexican treat during this year's Tamale Fest. Crew, a Christian Tech organization, will be serving free tamales from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then at 5 p.m., the Tech Activities Board will host a special homecoming edition of their Make Your Own Cookie event from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the Sub Courtyard and Greek Circle. Both events are free with student ID.
After getting your fill of sweet treats, head back to the Sub at 8 p.m. for a special performance by an up-and-coming star, DJ Dimmers. A comedian will perform his unique comedy act in the Sub Allen Theater Wednesday night. Dimmers gained nationwide notoriety after performing in this past summer's edition of the NBC hit show America's Got Talent. The show is free with a Tech ID. So Tiara, are you planning on participating in any of the homecoming week festivities?
Yeah, they all sound so fun. I love tamales, and of course making your own cookies is always a fun time.
I agree. That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check out ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.